This is Books and Tickets, and we are delighted to be joined once again with Cian Reddy. How are you, Cian?
All good, yeah. Thanks for having me on again.
It's my pleasure. I was just saying to you there, hopefully this time we'll have no sound issues. Whenever I done your interview the last time, unfortunately, we had a technical issue with the sound that meant that the sound was coming afterwards. So it looked like you were speaking with your mouth closed, and that was my fault.
Oh,
Technology wouldn't be my best friend. So hopefully this time around, everything all syncs together.
hopefully no. Oh, please God, don't want them all thinking I'm talking with my mouth closed again.
But I guess like obviously there's 4 months I think since we last spoke. Obviously, it was just you'd announced it obviously that you were turning over, and obviously Ian Gaughran was managing, and we sort of went through, where you'd sort of got to at that point. You've obviously made your professional debut now 2 months ago in Bradford. How do you feel now that you've obviously had your first professional fight?
Yeah, it was good to get over the line. I suppose something I always looked at since being a kid. I always wanted to do, so to actually do it uh, felt like a bit of a relief in a sense to say, oh, I've done it. And then I had a new team, like first fight with a new team and stuff. So to have that with them and have a good performance as well, and the experience of it all was unbelievable. Like it was a really small venue. We were supposed to make our debut in Ireland. That show got they, they were a bit iffy about if it was going ahead, and I just said, look, I'm training constantly. Can you get me a date? So my coach Wayne Woods over in England got me a date in Bradford, and everything just worked out really well. It was a small venue, but it created a savage atmosphere. Like I was watching back the video, I had about 80 odd people from Ireland like coming over, and a few family from England and stuff. But to have that debut in such a small venue, it made it for a class event. One of my friends was trying to get onto the ring with the Irish flag, and the other one was trying to pull him back, and the security's coming over. I was watching the video, and my other friend is telling the security man to go out of the way because he's in the way of the video. Like I was like, oh my God, it was mad. Like it was bad.
Like obviously it's no mean feat. Obviously, like 80 tickets in Bradford, obviously away from home and stuff like that as well. Obviously, it must give you a sense of pride, and do you know that people are, particularly in the way the world is at the moment, Cian, as well. Like things don't come easy for people. Obviously, they have to look in advance for things. Like 80 people to come to Bradford, and probably for the weekend as well. It fills you with a sense of pride. You know that early on people are there to back you.
I was unreal. You never really know how well you're going to sell tickets because the amateurs you don't really have to. For club shows, like England's a little bit different. They try to sell their tickets and stuff a lot for club shows in England. Whereas Ireland, you just say, look, boxing here. A few people might rock up. I never had to do it, so I was surprised. Like I knew I had good support, but you never know how many people are actually going to support you and actually going to buy tickets until it's time to. Like so many people say they will, and I always knew that as well. But to actually have the people come and supporting me, and if it was up to me, like I'd be giving them all tickets because, but it's not that. That's not the way it works. Like, and if it was up to me, I don't like taking money off people either. Like, you know how hard it is to earn, and there is, I don't know, a lot of people's positions maybe that want to support me or whatever. So, but if it was up to me, I'd be giving them all for free. Like, just to have that support, to have that, because to actually have that amount of people behind me, even last night, like I got my tickets for my next fight, and the ringside ones are sold out already, and the angle ones are fairly almost sold out already as well. So class, like to have the support, and like that's what drives you on, to have that them amount of people backing you and believing in you, and yeah, it's class.
It's the unfortunate. You have a couple of fans, obviously, a couple of fans close by. It's I guess that's the part and parcel of us professional boxing. Obviously, you have to be able to sell tickets for show costs and everything else like that. So, that's the thing you probably have to get used to probably very quickly to go. I need to sell tickets to be on these shows to cover opponent costs and everything else like that. It's a complete whirlwind change for you from amateur boxing. Obviously, if it's a club show, people just rock up, and is of no benefit if you sell no tickets or five tickets. It's of no benefit to you fighting. Whereas in professional boxing, you have to be able to sell tickets to get in these shows.
100%. Like, or you're in the amateurs and you're boxing in a club, so sometimes you just rock up by yourself, like, or you might bring a couple of people. I don't know. I think you never have to sell them. See, like I said, you don't know but I kind of took a risk on my first one because there was a lot of people, and I decided that like people they mightn't mind having an away day because of it being the debut and that, and so I think all in about 100 people bought tickets for my debut, but more or less, but not everybody could make it on the night as well. So some people were just buying to support me as well, which is unreal as well. Like, so I decided I said I was going to get a few more for this one because of it being in Ireland, and obviously being people don't have to fly and stuff like that. So yeah, I have a few more tickets for this one, but they're flying out, and I'm really looking forward to this one in Ireland. Like I said, I didn't mind having an away day for the debut, but Ireland is close to home, like it's at home, like, you know. So have the support I have, the class. So and I suppose there's not that many people doing it in Laois. Like, you have TJ, but a lot of his fights are away and stuff. So people who love like pro boxing, it gets a lot of support. Like, a lot of people come up like talking to me and stuff about TJ and about myself boxing, and to have like, you know, because I'd see lads doing well as well sometimes, but I just recognise them. I wouldn't go up and say, "Oh, well done, you're doing well." But to have people coming up to me and saying that, that's what drives you on in boxing, you know.
Something we never spoke about the last time, and obviously I want to bring it up, is you're singing. You're a singer and a songwriter as well. Obviously, you wrote a song for Georgina O'Connor last year. Like, you're a man of many talents, Cian. Like, I'm just wondering if you got to the stage yet where you're going to sing yourself out of the ring.
I can never see myself doing that. Maybe I can never see myself doing that. No, I like, my family are big into country music. My mother was a country music singer. Comes from a country music family, and I used to hate country music when I was a kid. But like, because it's kind of pushed on you, I suppose. But then like, just leave me alone for a while, and then I got into it. So now I love country music. Like, I want to go to Nashville. I wanted to go after my debut, but none of the boys have come with me, so I wasn't going to go to Nashville by myself. But yeah, I love country music, and yeah, I wrote a song a few years ago, and Georgia liked. I put it up one time myself, and Georgia liked it, and she covered it. So it's cool. So it's something different. Like, I always liked it, and like, we go on like during the week to kind of take your mind off boxing or whatever. Go to like a traditional music session, and that they're quite common around here. Like, so, and then a few of the lads, like last night, for an example, that I go play music with on a Wednesday after buying tickets, you know. So it works in both ways, like, it's class.
We definitely have to change your nickname to the singing boxer.
Oh, I don't know. I prefer to be good at one of them now. I don't know which.
But like, you know, the debut out of the way in Bradford, it's sort of, you know, with the stabilizer sort of on, getting used to obviously turning pro and everything else. Like, 3 weeks time, you know, your Irish homecoming and your second pro fight in the National Stadium on the Elite Sports Promotion Show. Like, who would have thought in your second professional fight you've been the undercard of Joe Ward?
Yeah, one of the best boxers to ever come out of Ireland. An incredible talent that hasn't got the recognition he deserves as a pro, but I think he will. He's thereabouts on with the top lads on in that weight, like, if not there. So just needs to prove it. He's always someone I looked up to as well. You know, he used to come down sparring in Port Leash as an amateur, and whenever he was sparring, didn't matter what. If I was in school or that, I'd always say like, "Oh, I need to go in and look at that because I learn." And you know, my mother was she used to let me kind of sometimes, but I used to have to do a bit of arguing with her. But you'd learn off looking at lads like Joe Ward and stuff in the gym, and seeing how good they are and seeing little things they do. Obviously, his achievements speak for themselves. So yeah, it's class to be on his undercard in my second pro fight, and the National Stadium as well. What a venue, like, where I had a lot of amateur fights since 12, 13 years old, and to have my second pro fight there is going to be great experience and a great event.
You could probably walk around the National Stadium with your eyes closed and know probably where every seat's at and where you could change everything else. Like, you could probably already visualize them sort of moments to go, and I know where I'm going to be, and I know my sort of setup. I know where the closest shop is. I know where to park. Like, it's all going to come very easy for you, sort of, in that respect.
Yeah, it's kind of going to be like you said, like deja vu in a sense, like going in, and whenever I go into the National Stadium, even if I'm not boxing, you get that kind of buzz, that kind of nerves, like, because the whole smell of the place, that's where you go when you're boxing. So, or like when you go into the dressing room and that, and that buzz to the place and that is class. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've done it a lot of times in the amateurs, but to do as a pro is going to be very good. Yeah.
Like, did you imagine it? You know, you would be back at the home move of Irish boxing. Obviously, you know, the national stadium's the only purpose. It's one of probably very few purpose-built things just for boxing around the world. Like, did you think in your second pro fight that you would have a national stadium to box in?
No, I definitely didn't think it was going to be in the national stadium, but I did want it to be in Ireland. I didn't want people to have to travel again because it can be expensive, like we were talking about earlier on, like buying tickets to the event, buying flights, car park in the airport, driving up and down, then hotels, and then a lot of my friends now they'd be fond of a few beverages as well. Like, so the money all adds up, like, and it can turn into an expensive weekend. Whereas the national stadium, you can just get the bus up, bus back, or drive up and back, and you know what I mean. So it's not really adding too many costs. But I did want it to be in Ireland, but to have it in the stadium, like the stadium's not far from Laois. Like, people always say, "Where's Laois?" Like, you know what I mean? It takes as long to get from one side of Dublin to the other side as it does to get from Laois to Dublin. You know, so it's only like 55 minutes or an hour, so it's grand. Like, it's not too far from. We're getting closer to having the one in Laois.
That's what I was going to say there. Obviously, it's giving you that sort of taste of what it'd be like to bring professional boxing back. Obviously, at least, obviously, I want to speak on TJ as well. Obviously, you know, 37 years of age, and everybody wrote him off in the New Year fight. And like, what a fight he was obviously having. You know, he'd taken rounds. Like, I think he'd taken at least 2 rounds in the fight. Like, he was showing like the hype's obviously there and it's real for a New Year. But TJ, you know, was boxing brilliantly. Unfortunately, I think he got hit with a left hook to the body round the back at the end of the 6th round, and unfortunately just couldn't continue. And you have to be 100% healthy fighting away.
Oh, 100%. Like, and who was taking rounds off anyway now? Like, nobody really. Like, he was boxing really, really well. Like, people don't realize the level Inoue is. Like, cause he's like pound for pound. Like, you know, people don't realize how good you have to be to become a world champion in what 4 weight classes and then undisputed, etc. Pound for pound. People don't realize how little percentage of people can do that. Like, and he's done it. Like, so the opponent caliber couldn't have been any higher. You know, but he was boxing really well. Like, winning a few rounds against him. Like, I thought Stephen Fulton was going to do well against Inoue, and he didn't win 10 seconds of it. Like, and TJ was winning rounds, and people are saying, "I should retire. He should this and that." And why should he retire? Like, he got beat against pound for pound. That's the game. Like, you know, people are so quick to jump on the bandwagon when you're doing well, and congratulations and this and that. And but then when he takes a loss, I should retire. But if he was 25 years old and he put in a performance like that, would you be saying he should retire? I don't think he would. Like,
And I think sometimes people forget that he's a former world champion in a way, and he went away to the same country and obviously won his world title. Probably one of the greatest, probably away ones that also has in Irish boxing. I guess sometimes probably TJ maybe doesn't get as much credit because he's obviously he's not based in sort of Ireland a lot. So
1 second, just went on.
There's enough credit or probably enough recognition because obviously a lot of his career's been away. But everybody, obviously, it's the boxing enthusiasts and obviously around Ireland that follow boxing regularly know the talent that he had and know that he can come again.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's still, I think, another world title in TJ. Like, putting a savage performance, like I said, against pound for pound, arguably number one, maybe everybody's top 3, I think. So putting that performance, there's still plenty more, I think, and like, what people, like I said, people are saying he should do this and that, but what a performance! Like, and that was, you know, like I said, who's winning rounds with Inoue now? Nobody. I can't remember. Denair maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and then, you know, so there's nobody taking rounds off Inoue, and DJ was doing that, and he boxing very well. It's still still a class performance against pound for pound.
And like you're saying there, obviously 3 weeks time, obviously you're back in action for your second pro fight. Tickets are flying out for you. So like, are you sort of getting to the stage where you're sort of having to ask for more tickets? You know, obviously, I guess you've just got your tickets as well, so it's other ones getting round to you. But you obviously you'll do more than you've done previously in Bradford.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. That's why I asked for more tickets than I got for Bradford. And I don't see my mother's going to deal with a lot of it this time because I'm training over and back in England and having to deal with tickets and then listening to my mother ask me where do you want him to sit and where do you want it? Ma'am, I don't want to hear about it, ma'am. No, just but yeah, like so the tickets are flying out. A lot of the boys. Somebody texted me there this morning. He's from town, right, Mount Mellick, and he's like, "I'm coming back from Holland for the weekend for your fight. Make sure and save me a ticket." Like, so it's unreal. Maybe I might need to ask for more, but at the minute I'm all right because I've only gotten them yesterday. But if half the people say they're going to buy ticket, or half the people do buy tickets and say they're going to buy them, then I will need to ask for more.
And like, I don't want to look too far ahead, but sort of similar distance to where you're from, there's the potential of another fight card in Waterford in December. Is this your fight now in 3 weeks' time? Is this the last one of the year, or if there's an opportunity comes to fight in Watford in December, you'll be up for it?
Oh, 100% I'll be up for it. Yeah, like three fights in a year. Like we're steady. We're going steady. I want to in my first year. Obviously, we're not looking ahead at 3 weeks' time. Never look ahead, because you hear so many lads saying what they're going to do after this fight and that, and then bumps in the road can happen the whole time. It's professional boxing. So, but if an opportunity came up to fight again in Ireland, in Waterford or wherever it may be, we're definitely gonna take it. We're still going steady. Improving a little bit every fight. Looking to up the level of opponent every fight and just gradually improving because it's slow. It's a slow process. You need to learn to crawl before you learn how to walk and then run. It's just steady.
Yeah, it's one of them. Obviously, when opportunities come, particularly and obviously in Ireland as well, you don't want to be you don't want to be having to go to England so many times for fights because then tickets will dwindle because people can't afford to go every time. So the more sort of you can have fight cards on your doorstep, every opportunity, the hands up, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go.
100%, and that's why so many Irish lads are going pro now because they have more opportunities. Because there's more shows. You have the likes of Jay Byrne there was running all the shows and Conlan boxing. There's Mark Dunlop there who runs them in the Europa Hotel. Like people are seeing more opportunities and more. Like at first, I had planned on going to England full time, like because there wasn't as many shows being around in Ireland. I always thought Ireland, like with pro boxing, but it's improving. Like and obviously, Conlan boxing has deals with the zone and like to have that platform for us as Irish boxers. There's so many more opportunities for us to fight here and to still showcase on a big platform.
And particularly, obviously, with Cal Walsh in the three arena last week as well, and Dana White's obviously talking about getting back into boxing full time. Like the more of these promoters, the more of these big shows that come, it's only going to help every boxer it's there. You're not probably getting every card, but obviously, as if you're in the conversation for it, you're going to get on more than you probably would have previously.
Exactly, yeah. And if you're having a few in Ireland or whatever, and then you're doing like people see you can do big tickets and like people are there to support you because that's why I think as well that the likes of Dana and that don't mind coming back here because they see the support that Irish people bring to the fights and show their local lads and stuff like the likes of Callum that would have a big following like from Cork and there's so many lads with big followings here so there's so many opportunities to have them big fights and to have cards in Ireland because a lot of people are going to go to them.
And like just finally then obviously because I know obviously you've still training and obviously everything else to do in 3 weeks time sort of what can we expect obviously from you like probably in some ways it'll probably feel like a debut for you again because you're going to see a lot more people there feel like a home show you'll be comfortable with the fact that it's in a venue you've been in before but there'll no doubt be a bit of nerves but what kind of performance can we expect out of you in 3 weeks time?
Just a better performance than my debut. Just that's what we're looking at. Just improving every time. My performance was quite good in my debut. It was a good performance against a tricky southpaw opponent. So we just want to up our performance and up our standards and up our levels every time. And that's what we're trying to do. Just stick to what we know as well and continue doing what we're doing in the gym, and then the performance will come itself.
Yeah, well, listen, obviously, it's great to get a catch up with you. We'll obviously no doubt see you in action in 3 weeks' time. You never know. Obviously, the fan appeal might come in there and they say, "Go on, Cian, sing yourself to the ring." You never know. So the demand's there. It could be an option, But we'll look forward to seeing you in action in 3 weeks' time. And thanks
Thanks
once
very
again
much.
for your time.
Thank you. I'll make sure I have free earmuffs for everyone in the audience if I have to sing myself out of the ring.
Definitely. Well, listen, thanks for your time and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Sound, you too. Thanks for having me on again.
Not a problem, Cian. Take care. Cheers.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.